Okay. Hi, everybody. Hello. Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo. Transformational astrology. We want to help you get your mojo back. And for those of you who are new to me, I just want to let you know that the planets don't make you do anything, that we live in a cooperation with the cosmos so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that in the heavens by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So really, it's more than just astrology. We're talking about intuition, awareness, body, mind, spirit connection, being healthy, opening up to channeling the best and highest information for yourself. So thanks to NASA, by the way, for this amazing image that's behind me, the galactic image, also known as NGC 4485. That is the technical term for galaxy. They have a lot of names that the Hubble and the Voyager have taken, and it's pretty clinical. But that's okay, because they're beautiful, and we're happy. Hey, so Lindsay's here. Hi, Laura. And Gallet is here. So we have a Taurus, a Gemini, and a Cancer. What more do we need? Come on, right? Today, we're talking. Come say hello to me if you're here. And in America, it is Labor Day weekend, and happy Labor Day to those. And I just wanted to give a shout out to and say really big thank you, thumbs up to Colorado, Mississippi, and the Great River. That's what it means. That's what Mississippi means. New Zealand, Indonesia, Washington, and Wisconsin. Next time we'll do all the A's. We just did the W's. Okay. Thank you for joining and being here. Oh, we need a Sag. Christine is here. Now we have a Sag. And of course, Elizabeth is here. So now we have a Pisces. We're going to get all the constellations represented. We're going to represent. That's it. Pisces in the house. We're here. We are talking about something pretty special. Christine had a recommendation. I asked the other day what you'd like me to talk about. So please make your suggestions. We can keep going because I'm here to help you. Now, Christine asked to talk more about how to connect with spirit guides, and that's what we're going to talk about. Also, very quickly, Sasha also asked how to properly clean crystals. I've talked about that previously, but I'm going to just very briefly mention that here, that the best way to clean your crystals, with the exception of a certain type of crystal or rock, is, well, there's actually several. One is in salt water, but never ever put halite in salt water because it will melt because it's a salt base. And what I like to do is during eclipses, solar eclipse and lunar eclipse, and during full moons and new moons, to put all my crystals outside, except if it's during the day, great. But never amethyst. Amethyst contains water molecules. So the more you leave it in the sun, the more it begins to fade. So that I will do at night. So full moons, new moons, solar and lunar eclipses, also salt, unless you know that it is a sodium-based crystal. So then it will disappear into nothingness and you go, oh, my crystal. That's what I did. Ask me how I know. All right. So, I'm excited. So many folks have showed up. Yay. And Gallet says, hi, Elaine, triple gem, living, ready to receive, feeling the energies. Yes, we're still in the vibe of everything I've been talking about. The Virgo lineup, the trine to Uranus and Taurus, opening up those portals and channels. And so how apropos that today, it's going to be a fun show today, we're going to be talking about how accessible are those spirits, starseed, angels, light beings, even passed on loved ones? How accessible are they? Well, we're also going to talk about 5 things you can do to make that happen or bring that about in your life, not to force fit it anywhere. So just pass along to your friends, families, and all who you think might benefit that I am here now Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific time. That is 6 p.m. Europe, Greenwich Mean Time. until the clocks change. And then I will notify you what those times are then. So what's a spirit? You know, we could talk about ghosts. We could talk about angels. We could talk about anything that is not in physical form. That's a spirit. Okay, now there's so many dimensions and levels to what this means that I'm just going to keep it brief so that you understand the parameters of having interaction with aliens, angels, galactic beings, passed on loved ones. You know, you want to have a really set protocol for the invitation to bring someone into your life, because this is not a Ouija board game. Okay, don't ever play that. No. Okay, so angels are a race of beings that they've been depicted in religion as gender-based. You know, Michael's a he or Jophiel's a she. Okay, there are no genders for angels, and they are, but you'll have your own experience and go with that. Okay, but my experience is that there are no genders. And so they are beings that can help you to expand your awareness and also to lend protection. But, you know, they only ever help when asked or when invited. So, and sometimes the help that you get is not what you're expecting. And that's what we're talking about today. So light beings, again, they can be from different dimensions. They can be from the mystical realms, you know, the fairies, the sprites, the pixies, all the indications throughout time, history, and literature, where people have talked about things moving in their house, or dreams coming to light, you know, or seeing wisps of light, or in photographs, seeing someone standing behind you when, yikes, you were the only one in the picture. So when there's all of this spiritual stuff that comes, and when I say spiritual, it doesn't necessarily mean it's elevated or it's aware. Sometimes people who have passed on don't know that they've passed on, and so they occupy a familiar place. Just, it's like a dream state. And so I think it's important that you assess for yourself, and I'm going to give you the 5 steps of what you can do and how to really organize this and set this up so that you're safe, so that you remove the fear and the expectation of what you think is happening. And then you can move into a learning and receptivity place. And that's the ultimate place for awareness, right? You want to be receptive and not have it be a type of cognitive dissonance where it's like, oh yeah, I only have this belief system, so anything I experience has to be within that framework. So when we remove the fear and the resistance to opening to what's possible, then other light energies can come to us and help us and assist us. And I work a lot with starseed, and you know, like the starseed family are, well, you'd have to experience them for yourselves, okay? But each grouping has a different purpose and intention. Like the Pleiadians are more about awareness. The Syrians, not the Syrians on Earth, but from the dog star system, Sirius, are more alchemists, ready to assist. The Arcturians I work personally with often, and they are my medical assist team, literally helping to heal body, mind, spirit through energy grids. It's pretty powerful. It's like if you could take the Arcturian method and bottle it, it would look like polarity therapy. It would look like Reiki energy or laying on of hands, that kind of thing. And then the Andromedans, they are protectors of the evolution of Earth and all life on it. So these are the kinds of things that we're talking about. But, okay, so first, let me just tell you a little story once that I had when I was working with this energy. I was living back in Lodi, New Jersey, and I was maybe 25, I want to say, something like that. And I am 59 now. So it was quite a while ago. And I was really having a rough time. I was living on my own, a paycheck to paycheck. I didn't have a lot of food. I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't have a lot of friends. And I was making a huge transition in life. I had let go of a relationship that was very toxic. And I was learning from square one. I was learning about spirit. Literally, spirit knocked me on my ass, and I say that in a literal sense. I got knocked across the room because I was just constantly thinking about suicide and how do I end this pain, this suffering, this I don't know how to get out of this self-absorption, and that's when it began. My training began by spirit. And I was interrogated, like, who are you? Where are you? What are you? When are you? And when I went through that whole experience, I thought I must be hallucinating. This is it. I'm hallucinating. That's all there is to it. I don't take drugs, but okay. I'm crazy. There's something wrong with me. But if this is crazy, I feel better. So I'm okay. I'm okay with being crazy. And so then, I remember I think I told this story before on one of my previous episodes that I had to put to the test my belief system, my new and growing belief system that my needs were met, that trust had to be at the foundation of everything I was doing, or it was all for naught. So what happened was I went to a laundromat, and I only had a certain amount of money, and it was the end of the day. And they closed at 6, and there I was at 5, did my laundry, threw in the dryer, and the dryer broke. And I looked around and asking for, where's the manager? And nobody knew. And one woman said, well, I have like a few minutes left on my dryer. Why don't you put your stuff in there? So I did, and I thanked her for it, and that was really great. And then I thought, I have wet sopping clothes. These are my clothes. I have to go to work tomorrow. And the laundromat was not close by to where I lived. So I thought, all right, I'm going to have to put some energy work into practice. And I was so brand new at this. Even though I had seen things all my life and experienced things, I was really working on a new level with it. So I stood in the parking lot and I just canted over and over again. My needs are met. My needs are met. My needs are met, even if I don't know how to meet them. And I didn't even put it on, I need to dry my clothes, or I need money for, my clothes. I didn't put it on a thing. I just did the broad sweeping umbrella statement. My needs are met, my needs are met, my needs are met, even if I don't know how to meet them. And then, screech into the parking lot came this gal and got out, older lady with a cigarette hanging out of her mouth. She's like, hey, and I followed her. It was just my intuition to follow her, and she went to the manager's door, unlocked it, went in, and I said, excuse me, are you the manager or the owner? And she said, I manage the place. And I said, oh, my dryer broke down, and the place was closing in 15 minutes. And she said, all right. She said, go here, and she gave me a bunch of change. She said, go dry your clothes, I'll stay open until you're done. And then she gave me a voucher for a free wash and dry. Not only were my needs met, but I got more. So I started to trust little bits at a time. Did I believe automatically and go, oh, throw my arms up in the air and go, yes, hallelujah, praise the Lord, I have support? No, of course not, because we being we say, I don't know, was that a fluke? Was that a coincidence? I don't understand. So I just kept going with that, and more spirit was there. Angels were there. Guides were there. And of course you have to weed out the ones that are not there to assist, but to attach to light, your light. So this is what we're going to talk about today. Let me just check in with anybody who's here. Come join me. Say hello. We're talking about how to best connect and easily with your spirit guides, your angels, your starseed family. Passed on loved ones especially are in the mix. So Christine says, the reason I asked, I have been having someone named Abner, a great name, showing up out of my left eye. He looks like me if I were balding middle-aged man. That's pretty hysterical. Okay, well, I'm going to give you some tips on what you can do today to weed out things and also foreign languages, because sometimes you attract a guide or an angel or an energy that does not speak the same language. So you have to come to terms and you have to learn how to communicate. Yeah, people, listen, who you are in a body, take away the body, you're still you. There are still parameters. There are still boundaries that need to be had. There are still energies that are malevolent. Yeah. I mean, I don't say that to scare you or frighten you, but you wouldn't open up your front door at night with the front porch light on with a big neon sign that says, "Come on in, everybody. All are welcome." Okay, you are not the Statue of Liberty. Except I think Laura's symbolism once was the Statue of Liberty when she had a reading. Not by me, by somebody else. Anyway, so what you want to do is have a boundary. So we're going to start. Let's all take a deep breath. Okay. If you really want to connect to the energies, the light workers, the angels, the beings of love, there are many different levels to it, and we're going to start like this. Number one, the first thing you can do and need to do really is to remove all your expectations. Yep. Of what you think you're about to experience or whom you think you're going to meet. And this creates receptivity, right? For an open dialogue so that you can be more present. That's the whole gig, right? And the introduction, of course, is actually, it's the invocation that comes before the introduction. So the invocation, and you can write this down, I'll say it a few times. The invocation can be something like this. When you're ready, when you feel ready, because a lot of times people are afraid. You're like, oh my God, what am I going to attract? Is it going to hurt me? Is it going to harm my family? Am I going to be up in the middle of the night hearing things smash across the room? Well, we're not looking to invite poltergeists, okay? So we're going to set clear, healthy boundaries to these things. So here's the invocation. And something like this, you can reword it if you like, but keep it present. I only allow what is beneficial to enter my life right now. I am protected by white light of pure conscious love and invite my angels, star family, light workers, any and all passed on loved ones to be of service. It's that simple. You can condense it when you get really adept at it. And when I came up with the phrase, I only allow what is beneficial to enter my life, I told my sister about it, and she said, why don't you add the words right now? Because that put it in the present tense. Perfect. So I'll say it again. I only allow what is beneficial to enter my life right now. I am protected by the white light of pure conscious love, and I invite my angels, my starseed family, any and all passed on loved ones, light workers, to be of service. Anything that is not of service or of the light, it's like hits a brick wall, hits the invisible barrier. Can't enter. That is your protection. Number one, always. Okay. Now, you can leave it at that. Just leave it at that. If you're new to this and you want to just test the waters, you can leave it at that and then practice this for a few days and just let it go. That's it. You might notice that objects in your house move. Maybe you put a piece of paper on your dining room table and then an hour later it's not there. And you go, hey, who moved that? Who moved that? I don't know. Or while you're sitting and practicing the invocation, you might get really warm or feel full or expansive. You might also hear something in your environment, but in your mind and in your body. Or it can also feel like someone is behind you or near you, like Christine was saying. And if you are adept at the invocation, then you can go to the next step and create a dialogue. It's like, hey, I feel you. Are you really here? And then you might hear something. You might hear voice in your head. You might feel love in your heart. You might smell roses or flowers or your grandma's perfume. So all your senses start to get tuned. Clairvoyance, I see. Clairaudience, I hear. Clairsentience, I feel, smell, and taste. Okay? So it's not just connecting with spirit. It's connecting with your spirit. And there's an ignition that happens. Does that make sense? It's pretty powerful. So again, it's not a game. And the more you practice it, the more you see what you are made of and why they're actually already here. They're already here. It's just that we think the invocation brings them in. Like we make a phone call and go, hey, do you have time tomorrow between 2 and 4 to show up and help me? And then they show, but they're already always there. So that's what spirit is. It's ever present. So that's something you want to be really aware of too. Okay, so that's a pretty cool feeling. Now, once you make that connection, after the invocation, you make that connection, you start a dialogue. Hey, what's your name? And you might get a very clear, resounding, Abner, like Christine said. Or recently I connected with one of my monadic structures. That's a conversation for another day. And I listened, and I heard, and I felt a feminine presence, and I heard very clearly, Esmeralda. And I was like, excuse me, what did you say? And I said, Escalala? And she said, close enough. And I said, no, seriously, what is your name? I really want to be present. So I went into a deeper meditation, and I waited. I was patient. And then I heard Esca, and there was like a pause, dot, Ladia, Escaladia. And I was like, oh, nice to meet you, or be aware of you. Because you've met me before, I'm sure. And so when you make this connection, it gets easier and easier when you meditate. That's step number 2. All right. So 1, you want to set the parameters, begin the invocation, have the dialogue. Number 2, you want to meditate. What is meditation for? Who knows? Come on, raise your hand. Who's just joining us? We're talking about how to connect with spirit and angels and guides, and the whole process of how it ignites your own spirit and your own awareness. It's very powerful. So you want to get present through meditation, and meditation comes with a routine. So you can get quiet, you can be still as possible in as many moments as possible, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, however you need to do it. Many different types of meditation, but this one that I'm talking about is simply only to create space. Meditation creates space for the answers to appear. Because if you're running around going, hey, help me, like, where do I go? I'm lost. Which way do I turn? You got the radio on, there's traffic, your head's spinning, you're late for a meeting, Connecting with spirit is not going to be as easy unless you are a professional, right? So you need to get quiet. You need to tune in. 3 minutes, 5 minutes a day, daily. Make it a practice, a habit. Okay, so once you make space through meditation, you are now in a receptive state. Ooh, what happens when you're receptive? Who knows? You set up the parameters. No, you don't go looking. Now, there are meditations that I have done where it's so fun because you go in and, you go to the magic crystal room, or you go to the special ancient library and you open the big book and the answer appears. And okay, there's different types of meditations. I'm just talking about you getting so present with yourself, so in tune with who you are, that you are in the receptive state. And in the receptive state, what happens? You're open. You are so open now. So step 3, you need to set up a parameter. Let's get the perimeter. It's like you got to set up a parameter of healthy boundaries with this statement. I only allow what is beneficial to enter my life right now. That's it. Conscious intention creates the parameter. All right. That's so important. That's a very simple step. And then next, number 4, you need to stop asking. Please stop asking. Can I meet my angels? Is now a good time? Because a lot of times when you ask, you give away your power. Will my star family show themselves to me? Will you help me? Where are you? Where have you been? I've been waiting. Why can't I see you? Why can't I hear you? I need your help. Please, please, please help me. Why did this happen to me? That versus thank you for showing me a clear, calm, healthy sign about, and fill in the blank. You see the difference? There is a distinction, and it's very important. You never want to give away your power. So, Okay, thank you for showing me a clear, calm, healthy sign about fill in the blank. Then go utilize resources, because sometimes you are not receptive enough to be listening. When you ask Lil Abner, when you ask Escaladia, when you ask stars, seed, angels, when you ask them. So it's better to create an environment of a dialogue. And then sometimes they tap you on the shoulder. They get your attention. A picture falls over. My grandmother, one of them, was not a well woman. And she died a long time ago. I was in my teens, or maybe I was 19 or so, or 20. I can't even remember. It was a long time ago. She's not well, but I never prayed to her, expected to hear from her, ever. And one day, I see a little cutout picture of her on my office floor. Okay, Yaya Canela, she's here. And I thought, oh, she's telling me she's here to support me in some way, shape, or form. And I don't know where the picture came from. I don't know how it got on the floor. My other grandmother I've dreamed about, and she would talk to me and give me advice and be very matter of fact. But this grandma, it's like suddenly she showed up 40 years later in a picture to tell me that she was here. And I think that's amazing when you can pay attention to those kinds of symbols. And sometimes it's just a support of love. It's like, I'm here for you. And it's not necessarily for answers, okay, or any specific thing. But I want you to utilize your resources. What does that mean? You do everything we talked about. Let me just recap. If you're just joining us, we're talking about connecting with spirit, light workers, angels, star beings, passed on loved ones. And so, number one, you have to create the invocation so that you can remove expectations. And then two, meditate to get present, to be more receptive by making space. And then as soon as you make that space, you need to set healthy boundaries and parameters so that not everything is coming at your light, because it ignites your own light. Okay. And then number three, you set up the parameters, healthy boundaries. I only allow what is beneficial to enter my life right now. And then we stop asking. And instead we say things like, something like, thank you for showing me a clear, calm, healthy sign about fill in the blank. And then go utilize the internet. Go do a Google search on, if your topic has been, what's the best kind of financial investment? What's the best kind of, and you start researching financial, and I don't know a lot about it, and you start researching and you talk to some people and you do all the, the practical, typical stuff. And then suddenly something bleeps up on your screen and you go, oh, or you get an email from somebody and they say, hey, come join us on Saturday. We're talking about financial investments for spiritual advisors. And you're like, what? That is so cool. Or a flyer comes in the mail. So energy gets redirected, and that applies to matter as well. So pay attention, utilize books, movies, happy cards, tarot cards, or anything that you see as a resource to help you connect. Because the next step, actually number 5, with working on this clarity is if there's muddled thinking or confusion about something, let's say you use a tarot deck and you go, okay, spirit, angels, passed on loved one, please show me a clear, calm, healthy sign about this relationship, and then you pull a card and you don't get it. Okay, so now we have to remove expectations that it's going to come in a way you expect. So put the cards down. Now you can say in the next meditation, or just talking to spirit in the air, I am open to symbolism or clear dreams on this matter. And then keep a journal. And then I want you to pay attention to colors. What shows? Numbers. What do you keep seeing over and over again? Oh my gosh. My mother wanted to get my attention in May. Her birthday was February 22nd. 2/22. Mom's passed on. And so I was flying somewhere to a writer's retreat, and I got some food at the airport. They gave me the receipt, and I look at the receipt. I just kind of smiled. Oh, it was $2.22. $2.22 was my change. And I go to the retreat, and we're doing exercises, and it's really awesome, and we're writing. And then I go to sleep, and I roll over in the middle of the night, and I don't ever look at a clock in the middle of the night because I don't have a clock by my bed, but I had my cell phone, and I turned it on, and I looked, and it was 2:22. I was like, oh, okay. And then again, then I had a dream, 2:22. So I thought, okay, mom's trying to get my attention. Things like that. So look for colors and numbers, right? What else? Let me look at my list. Herbs, smells, scents. What? Not the, like what fragrance or what is that? What is that? Oh, that reminds me of, I remember when I was in 5th grade and, my 5th grade teacher, she wore that perfume. And is your 5th grade teacher with you? Possibly. You can tune in. Miss Ford, are you with me now? So you have a dialogue, right? And of course, a lot of times you're going to start by saying, oh, I'm just talking to myself. I'm just crazy. I'm just being crazy. That's not real, So you have to lay aside your doubt and go back to the beginning, right? And set up that parameter. So let me just see who's here. So I think it's important to, Christine, hi, Star. And Christine said, I didn't hear his name, I just knew it. Okay, so if you knew it, you knew it. So if you know something and you sense something, that's triggering one of your many senses. Remember, clairvoyance, you see things with your third eye. Clairaudience, you hear things. Clairsentience, you smell, taste, and feel deeply. So when you start to connect, it's not just you, a separate being, connecting with, some other entity that's separate from you. All energy is connected. You see this galaxy and this nebula behind me? Wrong way. Sorry. It's backwards. So it's everywhere. All right. Does that make sense? That was fun. Anybody have any questions about this while I take a sip of the galaxy? Thank you. I will pull a happy card. So what you can do too is, as you keep a journal and you're open to symbolism, you write down repetitive things, numbers, what reminds you of something. You might bump into somebody on the street, and because spirit works through people too. And what comes out, here's something. When what comes out of a person's mouth is exactly what you need to hear, and you don't know that person, spirit is at work. So once I had written a book called Minutes to Manifesting, How to See It, Get It, Keep It. It is part of one of my programs. And at the time, I wanted to get a professional testimonial from someone in the business. So I went to in Sedona, they had a group. There was a workshop with a group, actually talkers. What am I saying? Speakers, not talkers. Speakers were talking about metaphysics, and there were all types of gurus that came. And I set an intention for myself that the person who I was going to approach that felt most appropriate, and I asked for Spirit's help on this, was please show me the person most appropriate for a testimonial for my book based on their language, on what they say. That's all I said, based on their language. Now, one of my more common phrases to my clients is, wisdom comes from knowing the order of things, and you are the first order of your business, right? So wisdom comes from knowing the order of things. And so what I did was I sat and I listened to all the speakers throughout the day. And I thought, oh, well, she's cool. Oh, hey, he's cool. Or hey. And then John Asseroff, who is in the movie The Secret, and he also has brain entrainment courses. And anyway, he's a metaphysical, science-based guy and an entrepreneur, and talks about how to get ahead in business. And so he was talking about energy and awareness and what trips you up and what sabotages you. And he said, well, here's the basic thing. Wisdom comes from knowing the order of things. And I grabbed Dean's hand and I went, that's the guy. That's him. He actually quoted me, and or I quoted him. Who knew what? So that was my message. So sometimes, the message will come through another person if Spirit really wants to get your attention. So following this whole procedure is going to be exciting, and I want you to come back and share with me your experiences on what's happened for you. So please start trusting that when you open yourself up, and again, just a quick recap, to help you connect, I want you to remove expectations, number one, by creating an invocation that sounds something like this. I only allow what is beneficial to enter my life right now. I am protected by the white light of pure conscious love, and I invite my angels, my starseed family, my light workers, any and all passed on loved ones to be of service. Okay? Now, once you do that, then you can have a dialogue with them if you feel them around, and go into a meditation and speak with them and ask them about, actually, you're not asking them about, you can ask them their names, but when it comes to your issue, you want to get present through meditation. So the more you meditate, that's step 2, the more you create a receptive place for the answers to come. So you just know. That's when your whole being gets ignited and you start to up your vibe. You start to elevate your own awareness, and then you're vibrating at a different frequency than dense matter. You're lighter, and then Spirit can communicate with you more clearly. Does that make sense? When you lift your vibe, it's like meeting them halfway, okay? So when they come to service and to help you, it's important that you're I keep saying asking, and it's not really asking, it's creating a statement that says, please show me in a clear, calm, healthy way about fill in the blank. Please show me. And I am also open to symbolism through dreams, numbers. I am open to symbolism. Please show me, so that they will. And once you get present and you stop asking, you look for clarity, you'll get it. And then if there's that muddled thinking and you don't trust enough, we've got to start over and look at the symbolism. And then start journaling and start trusting that your needs are met. And if you think you're crazy, but you're feeling better and you're not causing any harm, then I think you need to redefine what crazy is. Okay. Does that make sense? Hooray! Okay. Gallet says, this happened to me just an hour before this today. After moments of emotion, then asking for a sign, I took a shower and then went to check my email when your invite awaited, and poof. I love that. Spirit directed you to me to align and connect. You mean I was the answer to your prayer? I'm going to cry. No. You see, we're all connected. So if you need something, we are here for one another. And so is Spirit. So are the angels. So, you want to get jiggy with it. All right. Vicky says, oh my God. I've had John Assaraf's program forever and been meaning to start it. I'm doing it today. Was that your message? See, you see how we each are channels for a truth, not just the truth, but a truth. I'm so excited. This is already working. So sometimes I think my husband will say, oh, tell some stories that will help. And I never write down in my notes what stories I'm going to tell ever, 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 because I trust that whoever shows up, whoever's listening is going to connect through my connection and my channel. And I thought, okay, oh gosh. And then suddenly in my brain, I see, oh, the story about the laundromat. Oh yeah. Oh, John Assaraf. Right? You see, that's how it works. And then that's trusting. That's trusting. All right. I'm going to pull a happy card on connecting with Spirit. And I now invite my starseed, my family, my passed on loved ones, my angels, my light workers, all my friends and family in other dimensions to help me pick a card or 2 or 3, whatever is necessary to help all listening and watching on how to connect. Wow, I'm seeing elves and fairies all over the place today. Rhythm. Ooh, that's a good card. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I don't think I've pulled these before. So rhythm is the first card. Oops, it looks like a flower. Yeah, very pretty. Rhythm. So when you get into a rhythm and a habit of paying attention to your rhythms and habits, that's when you start to get even more present. Does that make sense? If you're just doing things because they're rote and it's time to get up, it's time to eat, you're not hungry, but you're eating anyway because it's lunchtime. We want to focus more on what is the natural rhythm and then attune to that. And when you attune to that, you're going to attune to other energies around you that want to help you. Make sense? And then the other, Gallet says, like, yeah, answer to your prayer. I was making a joke. And the second card, concentration. Ooh, I used to watch that show on TV. I loved it. It's like the memory game because I didn't know it at the time, but I was practicing my psychic abilities. Okay, concentration. It's kind of trippy because we're seeing the universe behind it. Concentration. When you're able to concentrate and be as present, it's another way to say be as present as possible in as many moments as possible. So be present. Be present, because when you're able to concentrate, and there's two definitions to concentrate. Okay. One is to focus as much as you can on the thing. The other is a concentration of, like that nebula behind me in Spiral Galaxy is a concentration of energy. Okay. So a concentration of energy. So let me know what else you guys and gals and those of nondescript genders would like me to talk about. I'll be back on Monday. Oh, no, today is Monday. I'll be back on Thursday. I'll be back on Thursday. And if you're watching this in a replay, you can also, let me put this in there. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel because we are going to be uploading more and more content for everyone. And once you subscribe, you can click the little bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, and then you'll get notifications every time we upload new content. Also, we have more. If you've not yet gotten your free birth chart, you can. And go to Astrology, right there I posted. Astrology, did I post? Yes, it worked. astrologylifechart.com, and then you'll also be taken to a page where you can see a video I made specifically for your sun sign. Okay, folks, have a beautiful day. Enjoy whatever you're doing, and wherever you go, stay present, set those healthy boundaries, and invite spirit to be part of your joy. Be well. See you again.